So in order to switch the air pump, I need to swap out the power leads. So to remove the pump from the shell here, you also need to disconnect these two power leads that go from the pump itself. There's a red and a brown wire. In order to disconnect it from the harness here, you need to depin it. To depin it properly, you need to get this ridiculous tool that's essentially a cylinder, right? And if I can get it with one hand here, there's a brown line that goes in there, and there's the pin. And I'm going to put the tool in there, and what it does is it depresses. There's these little barbs that go on here, and when you pull the barbs out, the barbs dig into the plastic and won't let you pull it out. So when you slide the pin over, like that, it hides the barbs so that you can slide the pin out. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to put it in without you seeing, and essentially it'll look like that. And then when you have two free hands, you just press all the way in, and the pin will come out. And there you go. And now it's free. And now I could separate this, and when I pull the pump apart, this whole harness is attached to this piece, and this power one, right, is attached to the pump over here. So I'm going to swap this out, and then I'll be able to plug in the new power lines into the harness, and I can plug it into the truck. So next you're going to take two 10mm sockets, and you're going to use one to hold the nut on one end, and there's another nut on the bottom end. There's three, and you're going to loosen this up so that you can remove these bushings from holding the pump harness. You want to pay special attention to the order in which the bolts and the washers are attached. So you see here I have a bolt, there's a washer, and then a rubber washer or gasket that will go on the outside through the hole. And then when it comes up on the bottom here, it's gonna slide through on the bottom. Oh boy, hold on. This is kind of the order here. There's this other rubber washer and then a metal washer on top that will sit underneath the this piece over here. And you want to reinsert it, the reverse of how you pulled it out. So that's all the nuts and the bolts are removed. You can simply extract the whole pump assembly out from the shell, put it aside. So here's the new pump, here's the old pump. As you can see, I need to remove some of the old pump from this metal housing here on the bottom, or assembly. So to do that, there's three 10mm bolts, one here, one over here, and one on the bottom. Loosen that up, and then we'll be able to maneuver it out. Also by loosening, I think this is an 8mm nut from the assembly here. Once those three bolts are removed, it's actually 10mm again to loosen up this one nut to disconnect the pump from this assembly here. Once the nuts are removed, you're going to have to release these compression fittings from the pump so that you can free it from the assembly here. Just do that for all sides. There's one over here, there's another one on this elbow fitting over here, and there's a large one on this side as well. So this elbow piece is a little bit tricky. You need to press in at the same time holding the sleeve downward, where my finger is, and pull with some pressure. It also helps if you actually undo this pressure fitting here as well that connects to it, because you have to replace this onto the new unit as it doesn't have one. Okay. Once you've loosened all the fittings, turn the unit over, and on the bottom side there's a plug that's attached here to this pump that you have to remove. To get to it, you want to take the assembly off, slide it out of the way, and either on the bottom, on the side, there's these two little arms. You want to lift kind of out of the way, like that, and then you'll be able to, once you get this metal piece out of the way, you'll be able to slide there you go, slide that off and disconnect it. And now this should be completely free, except for this wire. So to loosen this wire, you have to unbolt a couple of this piece right here. There's a Torx bit right here that holds this whole metal piece in. You'll need a T30 Torx bit to loosen this bolt up. Just a little bit, really kind of all you need. I don't know if the new one has one. It doesn't. It's missing. So you'll have to remove this from your old one. And this should slide out. And then you'll plug that into the new one. There's a hole here for it. Right there. When you start putting the new pump together, little pieces, remember you're going to transfer that bolt, right? It's got some blue Loctite on there. You want to note the orientation of this piece. See how there's a dent? Oh, there we go. There's a dent where the screw or the bit is supposed to go into. So you slide that in and then tighten up the bolt to lock into that point. So at this point, I hate to say it, but the installation is the reverse of the disassembly. So put all the fittings back in, connect it back to the housing here, and make sure you connect all the electrical connections back together. So a lot of you are going to ask, all right, what's the part number for this special tool? As you can see here, it's 83300495385. It's about $48. I got this from Tisher BMW. That's about as best as you're going to get it. But you can use this tool for other depinnings or pinnings. It's a 2.5 millimeter, I think, internal diameter or length rather of the pin that you're looking out for.